During my university studies, I worked in many places. We share one thing, the lack of humanity. At work, I often ate by myself, literally. There was no place where to eat, except for the space in front of the vending machines. You know, those filled with junk food and coffee that irritate your stomach. Then I moved to Helsinki, Finland, for my studies. The same day I arrived, my flatmate invited me to join Restaurant Day, a food carnival where anybody could open a restaurant for a day. The whole city changed its look. Strangers were eating together in the parks and in their living rooms, and what a variety of cuisines and flavors. Restaurant Day blew my mind. A few months later, I opened my first pop-up restaurant with a couple of friends, followed by 3 more within the next few years. It wasn't until then that I started to observe how strangers socialized at the dinners I attended and later on produced, how supper clubs pop up everywhere around the world, and how food brought everybody's life together. Food, that universal topic that unites people regardless of nationalities, genders, religious and political beliefs. However, I also noticed how coming together and feeling included is a totally different story. Try to arrange a meal with people who don't know each other. We have all been invited to dinners where we stick side by side to those we know for the whole time. It takes guts to talk to strangers and to continue a conversation beyond what do you do, unless there is somebody who facilitates. While making such discoveries, I recalled my early work experiences, how I felt lonely and excluded, and how there wasn't even a sense of togetherness. So I started talking to friends and family, and many said how bad the food was in their workplaces and how their company culture didn't support their well-being. Many of them felt excluded and unmotivated at work. That place, work, where we live most of our lives. In fact, most of us, we spend at least 100,000 of our lives working. But, according to Gallup, only 13% of employees worldwide feel engaged at work. 13%. That means that if we want to change the experience of work for people like my friends, my family, myself many years ago, and many of you, we need to do something about it. So I thought, if we can design dinners to bring strangers together, why can't we take a step further and design for inclusion at work? Why can't we design work environments where food could be a catalyst for conversation? After all, in the workplace, people already know each other. It should be easier, right? So I really believe that food can improve our lives, our work life, but it needs some help. So I kept thinking, and I fell back on what I knew, design. And the way I learned about design in school is that it's much more than the look of an object, like a lamp or a chair. It's a way of thinking, doing, and behaving that is open to contribution and is open for exploration. It's basically an approach to life. Design, in fact, provides a set of intangible resources that supports the whole process, from the ideation to the countless trial and error to the final result. Whether that is a product, a service, or an experience like a meal, it basically makes us understand how things are now, and it helps us imagine things for the future. So when I founded We Factory, design became the framework to express food culture with 3 essential principles. These are empathy, trust, and play. Today, I will talk about play, which is something really close to my heart. Play is what actually we dismiss as we grow up, sadly, because it's such an important part of our human nature. In fact, play improves our ability to learn. It increases our openness to the other. It actually builds creativity and energy. And it makes us less judgmental about ourselves and the others. The first challenge I face with every organization I work with in reimagining how we eat at work is actually about figuring out a way to build a culture of play through play. In fact, I've learned that this is the only way where we would like to see more human workplaces. So, to illustrate what I mean by building a culture of play through play, I would like to share a story of a team of cooks, teachers, and school workers who learn how to improve their food service and be more inclusive. The day I come in, I kick off this program, I bring apples, paper sheets, and pencils. And I ask them to draw an apple for 20 minutes, silently. This is the only rule I give. I want to challenge them with an activity that only kids would do. Of course, being in the region most famous for its apples, they laugh at me. Of course they do. They are adult women who are asked to draw an apple for 20 minutes. Some even complain, and of course, I was expecting so. But when I start looking around, I see cubist and futurist apples, doodles, and even illustrations of orchards and people harvesting apples. So we move to the next exercise, and the next exercise is about drawing a passion fruit. Now, everybody's panicking. Nobody knows how a passion fruit looks like. Some draw papayas, others draw dragon fruits. Some try to take out their smartphones to Google it. Now, we broke the silence. Finally, I've achieved what I had planned to. This exercise basically put everybody on the same boat. There is no job title, no expertise. Basically, it stripped everybody off a corporate culture. Then the program continues, and like in our childhood, we play role changes, and the teacher imagines themselves a cook, and a cook imagines themselves a school teacher. So, learning from everybody's unique perspective, we actually create recipes with images and keywords for both the baby with food allergies and food gourmet. And everybody contributes because everybody plays a relevant role in the company. There is a woman I remember, or perhaps she is a combination of many women. We call her Martina. She's in her 40s, she has 2 kids, she works as a cook, and she loves what she does. But she has never had the chance to learn more about her job. She actually was really skeptical about exercise and about the whole program, and she questioned many of the activities we did during the program. So to my surprise, she came to me at the end saying, if I knew that my kids spent an hour drawing an apple, I thought your classes were a waste of time. She added how thankful she was and how much clarity she gained about her unique perspective and about her unique contribution to the organization as a cook. You see, feeling included is so important. This story actually illustrates that implication of redesigning how we eat at work ranges far beyond than just thinking about food, into the realm of self-development and self-confidence. Of course, not every person is like Martina. The process of change is hard, and the process of inclusion takes time. It's actually about rebalancing the power within an organization, as an employer needs to pay equal attention to the seed, the human talent, as well as the soil, the work environment, which should support people's well-being. It's like basically a winemaker who knows that the good terroir is as equally important as the good health of grapes. In my day-to-day job at WeFactory, I'm learning that you can take the component of inclusion and design for that. Empowered by design, food can overcome some of our deeply rooted issues at work, like engagement. So, if you're sitting in the audience today, I would like you to do something, to ask your bosses and your colleagues to eat with you, away from your computers and the constant buzz of your phone. Start a conversation, get human with them. Just imagine what your professional life could be. how much more you would know about the amazing human beings sitting all day long next to you. How much more organizations would achieve if we put people first. So, why don't we get a little bit playful, and don't we challenge our habitual role-play in the workplace over food? I guarantee you that food can nurture our humanity in the workplace. Obrigada. Thank you.